Most of us play video games in our free time, and some of us maybe play them a little too much. Nowadays, it's actually pretty easy to make money from playing games as more systems and platforms exist to do so. So, stay tuned to today's video as we discuss 5 ways to make money playing video games. Number 1. Live streaming. The first way to make money whilst playing video games that we're covering on today's list is the idea of live streaming. Many might sit around playing games and getting better, but it's also a great idea to stream that gameplay for others to watch. Streamers make thousands of dollars a day in donations, sponsorships, and subscribers. This is because of their massive following. But you can actually make a decent amount of money with just a moderately sized following, as long as you're consistently streaming and are consistently pulling in views each time. It's really hard to grow on many streaming platforms like Twitch and YouTube, but it can be done. It's not going to be a quick process, and you're going to have to put the effort in, but it will be worth it in the long run. Going from 0 viewers to 1 viewer is also something important. Being on 1 viewer automatically places you in a higher percentage of viewers than someone with 0. The best way to have 1 viewer is to open another account on your phone and have it on the stream. Though no one is actually watching you at first, it will allow the algorithm to show you to more people as people are viewing your stream. Another thing is setting yourself apart from other creators on the platform. You need to stand out, otherwise you aren't going to be appealing for newer viewers. Having a really interesting personality, being funny, or even playing a character should all work. Remember, the growth is going to be slow, but if you stick at it, the journey will be worth it in the long run. Number 2. Games journalism. Though this isn't exactly making money whilst playing video games, you can actually make some money from writing about them. Don't worry though, you'll still be playing games in order to write about them, so it's no big deal. One of the biggest ways to earn some solid money from playing video games is writing about them. Whether that's writing reviews, talking about them, or creating written content based around them. Starting your own site might also be the best idea, as you can monetize it by placing ads on the webpage. As with most kinds of journalism, games journalism is competitive. Lots of people want to write about games for a living. If writing for an existing site, you'll likely have to work for next to nothing while you establish a portfolio and prove your skills. If starting your own site, it'll take years to build an audience from which you can earn enough to live on. Journalism can be intensive. For news writing, you'll need to tap into all kinds of resources around the clock to get scoops before others do. Reviews and interviews take a lot of time to do properly. And in general, writing every day can be a huge drain on mental energy. A good way to get started is by looking for listings from IGN and sites in the same field. You can start out as a small writer for them and maybe even work your way up to a higher position. Just like the rest of this list, it's going to take some time to get money flowing, but if you love video games, then it's going to be worth it. Number 3. Creating video game tutorials and guides. While this isn't the best way to make income anymore, it's still something needed in the industry. When we play certain games, sometimes we all get stuck. This is where good old YouTube comes in. We look up exactly how to complete a certain section, or look up some tips on builds, gameplay, or just what to do to progress in the game. This is where the creation of guides and tutorials come in. You can make some money in a similar way to a games journalist, monetizing web pages or even videos on YouTube where you talk about strategy or just how to beat certain areas of the game. This could be for games like Zelda, where players might get stuck on puzzles, or even content for Warzone, where you can show players builds and what guns to use. There are so many different ways to make content in this way, and it's also super simple. It's going to take time to get some money and make sure you have a solid foundation, but in the end, it might just be worth it to try out. Let us know down in the comments section below how you feel about this one. Do you agree with it? And do you have any other advice for someone wanting to get into tutorials and guides? If you do, please let us know in the comments below. Number 4. Gaming podcast or YouTube channel. Have a lot to say? Try creating a daily, weekly, or monthly show related to gaming. It could be an opinion-based roundtable discussion, a series of interviews with high-profile players, tips and tricks for a specific game, or anything else that's interesting. Podcast and YouTube videos can be monetized with ads, sponsorships, and other forms of YouTube monetization. In particular, this format can also be supported through Patreon subscriptions. You will, of course, need a pretty large audience to get the money flowing, but it's pretty easy to get a dedicated audience if you're talking about the right things. You will also need to put money into production and the look of it all. Is your podcast all online, or are you in person? What does the quality sound like? And are you talking about boring or shallow topics? There's so much that goes into a good podcast, and it's hard to get started. You might have to adapt to new situations and games, but once you get going, it's hard to stop. Make sure you're with people you can talk for hours with, because the conversation needs to flow smoothly for a podcast to work correctly. You can also follow the same rules as the journalist sections. And finally, number 5. Winning gaming tournaments and getting sponsorships. This final way of making good money from playing video games is at the highest end of it all. The first thing is that you need to be very good at at games. And by that, we mean you need to be one of the best players in the world. Going pro in video games is just like in sports. You need to be one of the best in your field. This means you need to have insane aim, game awareness, and overall, just be a great gamer. It's hard to get into tournaments without skill, so improving and practice are key for this one. Once you're gifted at certain games, it's time to choose one. Are you going to delve into tactical shooters like Valorant and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or are you going into the ever-popular Battle Royale genre with Apex Legends or Warzone? Choosing a game you can play for hours and that you're top tier at is the main thing about pro gaming. Once you're in the field you prefer, you can start competing at tournaments and getting a name for yourself. Some of the highest earning pro players in the world built up a reputation and then were sponsored. Getting sponsored is the goal, as you'll be under a team and also get money from sponsors like Red Bull, Monster Energy, and others. Gamers like Ashu and It's Timmy play Apex Legends at the highest tier of play and are sponsored by so many companies. They also stream their games on the side, meaning even more money from gaming. Overall, this is the best way to make money, as some pro players make millions from certain wins. Just look at the ALGS, an Apex Legends pro tournament that happened recently. The prize pool was around $2 million for the winners. Clearly, you can earn lots of money from this sort of thing, and it's great. And that's the last of our ways to make money from playing video games. Of course, there are so many other ways of making money from video games, but we put a list together of the best 5. If you want to see the others, let us know in the comments, and we might make another video on this topic. The video game industry is going through lots of changes right now, but the ways of earning money are just increasing. We're seeing a rise in people earning money from gaming, and it's awesome to see. Let us know down in the comments section below how you feel about these 5 ways of making money while playing video games that we spoke about. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully, you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comments section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!